Hey, this is Eric from pjboy Airsofter, and today we'll be reviewing the King Arms CAA M4. But first I have a couple of announcements. Number one, I'm sorry we haven't been up for so long. It's because we've been working really hard to get that second movie done for you. And secondly, we're probably going to have a few more reviews coming up shortly because we're just putting the finishing touches on said movie. Now it's the review. This is the box, nothing special. This gun is not the gun that's actually going to come in the box. Don't ask me why that is. Blame CAA or King Arms, whoever you might. So flip it around. You got a couple pull tabs in the bottom. Pull those on out, do that. And you got a nice foam cover right on top. Useless. Good protection though. Instruction manual, pretty standard. This one actually feels a bit like nicer than the other ones. It's got this good finish to it. It's like texturized almost. You got rails for the hand grip. You got a long bottom rail and a short bottom rail along with two side rails. I'll show you how to put those on later. Also in the box, you have the mag. Now this mag, high cap, not very good. I really suggest you pick up some other mags if you like high caps or mid caps or anything actually. These G&P high rounds per second mags you can get on EVIC are great. Go for it. And they fit good too. But like I said, not a very great mag. Now for the gun. Well, inside the box actually, it's got a pretty nice modular cutout. It fits the gun good. So, get that out of the way. Now, this gun, first thing you'll notice, it's got a pretty considerable weight for it, especially for an M4. The stock especially, this thing weighs like a ton. But I really like it. It's comfortable, and it's got an adjustable cheek riser. As you can see here, you just gotta loosen up that little knob right there, and then you can pull it up and tighten it again. I personally like to have it on the lowest setting because with a face mask, you're gonna need it to see up the sight, which is flip up. You just gotta push this little button right here, so lower it down again, and you push the little button, just like any other flip up sight out there. It's got a locking bolt catch, so it stays back so you can adjust your hop up, and to release it, just push this button right there. So also there's the selector switch. It's normal on every M4. Clicks into place nicely, but it moves around a little bit. So I find it's very easy when shooting with this gun on semi-auto especially. You'll knock it a little bit into safe and it'll catch itself before the trigger pulls, which is a little bit annoying and something to note. Probably not that difficult to fix though. And mag release as per usual. And another thing I really like about this, it's kind of got this Voltor style body. If you know what that is, if you don't know what that is, it is basically, it's got more angular stuff here, and this button here is bigger. It feels a lot like beefier and tough. Also, with the hand grip, you can see it comes up here so you don't get that, the pistol grip thumb that you sometimes get when it bites you right inside like that, because it's all the way up. This actually didn't come attached to the gun. I added this after. Normally it's just a flat plate, but I have to have an area for my 1-point sling, so I have that there. Also, another thing not so great about this gun, this part right here is integrated. This little trigger guard. So sure, it's not wobbly, but at the same time you can't swap it out for something like, say, a green mag pull one like I plan to. Moving on up, you have the handguard, which also is going to double as the battery holding area. And your standard triangle sight. It is removable, so you can get rid of that if you want to. Nice one-piece metal barrel. Should have about 363mm inner barrel. And an orange plastic tip. So, I think this one actually just screws off and it's just glued. Yeah, there's no pins in this one, so you can just put it in hot water and it'll come off nice and easy, unlike some other ones. To get the battery in there, you're going to have to pull down on this little delta ring thing and pull. I find right here is the best place to pull on it. So, yeah. The first couple times you do that, it is going to be really tight and really tough to do that. And you're going to have standard Tamiya connectors, small Tamiya. It is very small battery space, by the way, so you're almost definitely going to need to get either like a LiPo battery, or if you really want to run a nickel metal hydride battery, or a NIME, however you say that, you're going to need to get the one that's recommended for it. I don't know what it's called. I think it's a butterfly style or something. But anyway, it fits in there really well, as you can see here. It's an almost perfect fit, actually. So it just slides right in. And then you put this back on. But I'm going to take this thing out for now. It's not fully charged, so it is a bit tricky to get it out once you have it in there. But if you pull right on the bottom and go outward, it should come out just fine. And you don't want to pull on one of them individually. Make sure you got them both at the same time, so that way you don't tug any wires loose, because that's a waste of a $30 battery. So we'll put this back on. Now this I find is a lot tougher than taking it off, especially the first couple times. I had to use a screwdriver the first couple times I did this. It's basically the just complete opposite of taking it off, and I find it helps if you do it on one side first and then the other. Basically holds it up and makes it easier. Now, some things I don't like about this gun. The stock is incredibly heavy. I'm talking like 2 to 3 times the weight of your standard crane stock style thing. I'm honestly thinking of swapping it out for a leftover G&P one I have until I get that MOE on there. But it is heavy. And it does have a battery compartment in it. Right there for C123A batteries. It just, pull up this little lever, it'll come right out like that. But I'm still not sure I like it that much. The adjustable cheek riser in Airsoft isn't really that useful unless you're, using a Shimog or something, which you can't do till you're a lot older at fields, and a lot of people don't do it anyway. But yeah, that's just my little nitpickings with it externally. Other than that, in the mag, I find it's a great gun. Well, actually, the mags stay in there very tightly too. You need to give them a good pull. They're not just going to fall right out, as you can see. Push the button. Stays in there. And the stock, you need to tighten it a lot. It's going to get wobbly and start falling off after a while. That will conclude my review for this part of the gun, mainly externally and just overall features. I'll see you on the shooting range. Alright guys, we're out here in the field now to do our shooting test. We're going to be chronoing with .20s and then giving it a shooting range test with .25s. Let's go. Rate of fire is going to be right here on the top. Now it's time for the range test. We're really going to be testing grouping more. This is going to be with .25 BBs. Aiming for that blue thing down there. After we finish shooting, you're going to go check it out. Keep in mind this is just for grouping, so the gun's going to be staying completely steady. Okay, let's go check it out. So this is the grouping at 80 feet. I was aiming right about here. It's a bit down and to the right. I really haven't adjusted my Hopup that much yet. So, right there. That's about the size of the grouping, this little square. Alright? Yeah. I'd say pretty good. You're definitely going to be able to hit a man-sized target. That's not that much deviation at your average engagement range. Now, in the package, I mentioned that it would come with rails. You get a small set and a big one. The big one on my package came really warped, but I'm sure after a little bit of being tightened down, that'll fix itself. Basically what you do is you take it, line it up so these nub things are sticking in to the longer holes, and the circles are aligned with the screw holes. So just toss it in there, like that. And then you take these down and, you guessed it, screw them in. Like so. Now, you can't access the battery compartment unless you take off this rail, because as you can see, right there, it's practically attached. So I'm going to show you what happens, when you try to take it off. It just won't come off. You'll risk it. See, it gets stuck on there. That's not good. You don't want that. You're going to bend the whole thing. Mine's already bent, so I don't care, but Yeah, you get the idea. All right, final thoughts on this gun. I would give it a 9 out of 10. The reason for this is A, the mag sucks. That's a con, by the way. And second con, it weighs a lot. As well as the fact that it has a very small battery component place. And unless you want to fit the recommended 9.6 volt battery or the any kind of LiPo, really, you're screwed. I'd say it's especially good for the price of, I got it for $260, and on eVic it's marked before sales at $330, which means it probably retails around $300 because, let's face it, eVic does these fake sale things they can get around their own coupon codes. And yeah, I really like it. I mean, adjustable bolt catch and everything. Voltor body definitely doesn't hurt. That's always a nice little touch right there. But I feel they could have really made this thing lighter. Like, the stock alone is freaking heavy. That will conclude our review on the King Arms CAA M4.